Yo, it is the Tyron Woodley, Jake Paul watch along here on the Ringside Report Network. The fight is next. Let's do it. Yup. AJ, it's happening.
Yo, VIP, what's up?
It's all happening. There's music going. It's a party. We're partying over here.
Yeah, I got a chance because I told Dave, I said, listen, man, start off the show with the stuff that you were trying to make me listen to, which was actually pretty good. So that's like that whole Kanye West, which I'm not too familiar with, but man, that was a good song.
Yeah, I was playing
Donda.
AJ some of the Donda before the show. Donda. Donda finally came out. Kanye's been teasing this release for like months, maybe a year now at this point, but it really started heating up. He's been doing performances, and now he finally released Donda today. And I'm way more hyped about that than I am about this fight that we're about to watch, but we do fights here on the Ringside Report Network, so we're going to jump aboard the Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley train, which is going to happen. The fight is about to happen at some point soon, I think. You've been watching this boxing?
Dude, I've been watching it from the beginning. I mean, like, to be honest, like, I was looking at some of the comments. I think Douglas was like, get Dave to make sure he talks about, like, the undercards and whatnot.
Yeah, sorry,
I'm like,
Doug.
I don't think so, man.
Shout out to
Dave
Doug.
is listening to his Honda CD there, whatever it is.
CD?
Is it a CD? What did you buy? How do you get it?
It's not a CD. It's on a streaming service.
Okay, close enough.
You have like a music streaming service that you subscribe to, you know, be it your Spotify's, your YouTube Music, Apple Music, what have you. And then as soon as the album comes out, it comes out on all the streaming services. That's how people listen to new music these days, AJ. They don't have it on like a 45 record or whatever you're playing your music on. Cassette. I don't know. Maybe you've upgraded to cassette.
Tape track.
Yeah.
I still have cassettes, man.
Yeah, I know, and you probably still listen to
them.
They're
worth a lot of money, by the way.
I don't know about
man,
that.
That's classic, man. I've got 8 tracks from like way back.
Yeah. Shout out to Doug
sure
Hepburn. Doug Hepburn, a member of the team. I'm seeing Angelo Contagonis, Brian Firth, members of the team, joining the chat. Woods MMA out in the UK, very late for Woods MMA in the UK, staying up to watch this Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley stuff. Miss Brooklyn Lizard
Everybody's
as well.
watching.
Habs fan for life. Shout out to everybody tuning in tonight to the Ringside Report Network. We appreciate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're here. There's Jake Paul in his orange trunks, shiny orange trunks, and they seem to, the belt has like a LED screen. I don't know if you noticed this, but Jake Paul's gear, he's got like a screen on it where his name is like scrolling. He's got a scroll going on his actual gear that I guess he's going to wear in the fight somehow. I don't know how that's allowed, but he's got screens on his shorts that say Jake Paul. Kind of weird.
What? Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to have one of those shirts. I walk around the streets with like, check out ringsidereport.net kind of stuff. Dude, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll get you some shorts like Jake Paul's, AJ. I'm sure they're cheap.
No, not shorts. No, T-shirts.
You want a shirt?
They're on his shorts?
You want a
shirt. I don't want to walk around with shorts.
No, man. You don't want to walk around
with
shorts?
I'm like,
Did you see his shorts? Are you there yet? I know you're like, your feed is a bit behind mine. Did you see his shorts?
No.
No? Okay.
I was looking at the cost of this fight, man. Like, it's up there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not cheap. People are paying a lot of money to watch this Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley fight. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. A lot of people are excited for it. Who are you picking? You took Woodley, right? You think Woodley's going to win?
I told you. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. You know, look, I had to write down a lot of stuff. Since Thursday's show, I didn't back away. I'm not flip-flopping or anything. I'm just gonna repeat a few things, and then you decide. So everybody that's listening, this is how it goes down. Tyron Woodley beat Wonderboy Thompson, Darren Till, Paul Daly, Carlos Condit, Josh Koscheck, Kevin Gastelum, and then he KO'd Robbie Lawler. So if that's not enough to make you think he can't win tonight, I don't know what is. Then you look at Jake Paul, which I got to give him a lot of credit, man. This guy's made more money than all those fighters put together. No joke, man. And he's got a full capacity stadium tonight as well. But he's beat a YouTuber, a basketball player, and Ben Askren, who's probably the
Bellator world champion Ben
boxing
Askren.
striker in
Bellator
the
world
worst
champion.
boxing striker in MMA. Not just in
Bellator
the
welterweight
UFC.
champion. Undefeated.
Yeah, I know, bro.
Undefeated
bro,
in
but that was
Bellator. Beat Douglas Lima.
Super chat.
Yeah.
Beat some pretty
But
good
his
guys.
game, man, his game wasn't boxing with Lima, and that's the thing. That's all I'm saying, Dave. You know, take that
You're
to
right.
the bank. That's all I'm saying, man.
You're right.
Take that.
I
And I'm
hope
gonna
you're
tell
right.
you something. But listen, but Jake Paul has given us nothing but entertainment, man. In the last little while, and way back, and I say it all the time, like a broken record, I knew, and all those schmoes that are taking like what I said that this guy was going to change the face of combat sports way back when he was fighting that YouTuber, and I said, man, this guy, I don't know who the hell he is, and all I know is that he has that age demographic that can carry a lot of weight, a lot of money, a lot of views, and he's able to go in and fight Tyron Woodley, dude. Think about it. And I'm not saying that he can't beat him. He could. He's a bigger guy. He's a heavier guy. 4-inch reach, 2-inch, 4-inch height reach, 4-inch height, 2-inch reach. The guy's got it all, man. Listen, as a boxer goes, he's decent. He's a decent boxer, man. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I see sometimes a lot of comments coming out. It's like, oh, Woodley, you know, he's coming in with boxing now, this and that. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I told you, man, a lot of these people know shit. Just because you do MMA doesn't mean you don't do all the rest of the disciplines. MMA is a mix of martial arts. Let me break it down. That means you do wrestling.
You don't have to break down what MMA is, AJ. That's all right. We understand.
No, I got to break it down.
You don't always do those
people don't
things
know.
either. That's not even true. What you're saying is actually false. Sometimes you don't do any of those things. Sometimes you do some of those things.
Sometimes you don't do that. In 1990.
Not everybody does Muay Thai.
Listen, not everybody does Muay Thai, but a lot of them train in Muay Thai. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not
A lot
saying
of
that
people
you're doing the
do
full
Muay
discipline
Thai.
level, but
You and I have
Tyron
both
Woodley's
done
been training with
Muay
Brown.
Thai.
Yeah,
we both know how to do teep kicks and Muay Thai clinches. But that's not the point, AJ. The point is that
you're not
MMA is a different sport.
Boxing.
It's a different sport,
Absolutely.
though. And I want to give a shout out to people super chatting because we appreciate the super chats. Brian Firth says, Veer Venus AJ shirts, Veer Venus shirts, AJ, coming soon. Veer Venus. You don't know about Veer Venus, AJ, but those shirts are coming soon. We're working on it. I'm working on a brand new line for the Ringside Report Network merch section, which you can check out over at merch.ringsidereport.net. I've got some cool shirts in mind. I came up with a shirt idea today that may be a $2,000 to $3,000 shirt idea. It may be a big money shirt idea. I think we're gonna make big money with a T-shirt concept that I came up with today. As long as we're allowed to do it, but it was a pretty good idea. I can't reveal it yet.
You became the Jake Paul of the show now, man. That's all,
Kanye
man.
West,
You're
baby.
making that...
I'm Kanye West.
Kanye.
I'm doing all sorts of designs and stuff. I'm gonna take the game by storm. All right, I'm the Kanye West of the mixed martial arts and pro wrestling game. All right, that's who I am. Respect me for who I am. God damn it, I am a fucking artist, just like Easy. And this is what we do here. Douglas Hepburn dropping a super chat saying, knock him out, Woodley. I agree with Douglas Hepburn. I really hope he does knock him out. But I think Jake Paul is actually going to win this fight, and I think he's going to knock out Tyron. You talked about all those things that Tyron had done. It's against guys that are pretty irrelevant in combat sports nowadays. You know, you mentioned a lot of guys.
Thompson?
Well, okay, Wonder Boy. How did those Wonder Boy fights go? I mean, they were kind of draws, both of them. One of them was a draw. The other one, Tyron kind of barely won. And Tyron's past few fights is what really concerns me. I've watched the evolution of Tyron Woodley's career. I've been watching him since he was fighting in Strikeforce. It's a guy that I've followed very closely, and at 39 years of age, he just doesn't seem like the same fighter. He doesn't seem like he has that same fire. It doesn't seem like he has that same pep in
the
his
press
step.
conference?
I don't know. Yeah, well, he's angry, but I don't know if that translates to him really delivering in the fight. I hope you are correct,
dude.
but he has not
looked
shape. Ready to pull the trigger. He's not looked good in his past 4 UFC fights. He's looked pretty bad. But those are against fighters that are much better than Jake Paul. So you never know, man. You never know. But this is also a sport that Woodley has not competed in before, boxing, which, as we know, as
no, he
of course,
he's had amateur fights.
Yeah, but not professional boxing. And Woodley, he is a guy that, of course, MMA, you have boxing, but he was a guy that also used his wrestling and mixed it up. And this isn't MMA. It's a completely different sport. Woodley also shorter than Jake Paul. I think he'll have a reach disadvantage. He's also much smaller than Jake Paul overall. Jake Paul's a guy who gets these welterweights, MMA welterweights, to fight him up at 190 pounds. It's a 190-pound fight. Woodley's fighting weight was 170 pounds. He was not a guy who was a big 170. I mean, he was thick and muscular, but he was not a guy that people were itching to see up at 185 pounds, let alone 190 or 205 pounds, right? Imagine Woodley fighting in the UFC at light heavyweight. He'd get smoked by most every light heavyweight in the UFC that has ever fought in the UFC, and that's just a size issue, and I think that there's going to be a size issue here. Jake Paul is picking smart fights, and there's a reason why he's coming in as the favorite for this fight. He's picking his shots here. He took Ben Askren, and now he's stepping up in competition, but I don't think he's taking a huge leap. It's a step, but it's not a jump, and Ben Askren, not a great striker, won all his fights with superior wrestling, couldn't wrestle, obviously, in this boxing match, so he got knocked out. Woodley is a better striker than that, but also, I don't think anybody would call him the greatest striker in mixed martial arts history. He wasn't renowned for his technique and his one-shot knockout power. That wasn't Tyron Woodley. He's not Anderson Silva. He's not a Diaz brother. He's not one of those guys that people say, God damn, this guy's got such great boxing. That was never Woodley. If this was Paul Daly, honestly, I would say it's a different fight. But it's Tyron Woodley. A guy like Paul Daly, I think, more dangerous. A guy like that MVP guy who fights in Bellator, I think that would be a far more dangerous fight here for Jake Paul. If you want to talk 170 fighters, Kamaru Usman, the UFC welterweight champion, I think would smoke Jake Paul tonight if it were a boxing match, a wrestling match, a chess match, a dodgeball match, anything, badminton, whatever they do tonight. Kamaru Usman would beat the hell out of Jake Paul, but Tyron Woodley's 39, and I don't know. I hope he wins, but I don't know, AJ. I just don't know. And I feel like Jake Paul right now,
he's 39, man.
Jake Paul's 23. He's big. He's big.
Right.
He's strong. He's shown that he can knock people out with one punch, and he's got the bankroll. He's got the bankroll to pay for the best coaches to train full-time, right? A lot of fighters don't have the ability to train full-time. They have to work a job to support their pro fighting habit. But because he's got all this YouTube money, he can train full-time. So he's got the ability to train all the time and only train and rest, and just all he has to think about is boxing. So you could say he's a joke, but if he takes it seriously enough, he can improve pretty rapidly. He's obviously got some sort of high school athletic background. He's not an unathletic. He's not an unathletic guy. Football, different things. The guy played various sports, seemed to do okay in them. I don't think he's the world's greatest athlete. I don't think he's a great fighter, but in this fight, I think he can win. I think he probably will. They're showing it right now. He's minus 200 on the money line, the favorite, Jake Paul. So I'm not alone in thinking this,
Look, Dave, I'll give you credit on one thing. If you look at the way Jake Paul has evolved, like there's one saying that always kind of stands out. Hard work beats talent. And there's no doubt about it. Jake Paul has put in a lot of hard work into getting where he is today. But again, I just saw a comment coming in, and honestly, it's absolutely right. He hasn't been tested. He hasn't been punched. He hasn't got hurt, and that's the difference. I think Mike Tyson said it the best. Everyone is tough till they get punched in the face, and
Mm-hmm.
he's absolutely right. He hasn't been tested. He hasn't really been rocked. I mean, Ben Askren, like you said, yeah, he was a UFC, one champion, whatever. He came in with this. This was his boxing stance coming in. He looked like a penguin. And you know what? Not to take away from Ben
Sure.
Askren, because if it was an MMA fight,
Let's
he's
not
going to
talk
go to
about
his
Ben
tools,
Askren though.
which
Let's
is
talk
wrestling.
about let's not talk about Ben Askren. Ben Askren is yesterday.
Nate Robinson.
Ben Askren doesn't matter. Forget all his prior opponents. I want to talk about Jake Paul specifically and what you've seen from him. Do you really think that in his sparring matchups that he has, that they're all taking it really easy on him? That everybody takes it easy on him in sparring, that he never has to face any kind of adversity? Because I think he's smart enough. He's clearly got something going on. Like, he's not a stupid guy to be able to get to the point where he is. He's got something going on, right? He's got to be smart enough to know that he's got to be tested in the gym if he's going to fight some real guys. And he seems to be trying to step up in competition. He's fighting a YouTuber, and then he's fighting a basketball guy, at least a guy who's a former pro athlete. Then he's trying to fight a guy who was a fighter, not really a striker, but at least a fighter, and now a guy who's maybe past his prime, maybe a little smaller than him, but a more dangerous striker than the last fighter he fought. I mean, he's not testing himself with real boxers, but you can see that he's trying and he's stepping up, and there is, some sort of career trajectory, some sort of path that he's trying to take to move up in competition. So I have a hard time believing that he's not being tested at some point in the gym. He's not making sure that there are people around him, or his coaches aren't making sure that there are people around him that they can pay to, be a real challenge for Jake without knocking him unconscious. I mean, he's got to be tested. It's different in a real fight, though. Competition is totally different than any kind of sparring session you could face, right? It's never the same.
Absolutely, man.
But he's faced, competition. He's never faced competition like this. I'll give you this, that Tyron Woodley is by far the toughest fight he's ever had. And it'll be a real test for him.
Man,
it'll be a real test for him if, unless he's able to knock him out clean like he did Ben Askren, which is possible, man. It's possible.
Dude, let's not forget, this is Tyron Woodley, man. Former UFC champion. Yeah, he had a bad streak of 0-4 in his last fights. But let's not forget this guy's career prior to his, really bad fights. Everybody has bad fights, but the guy's 39 years old. He's not, super old. Man, his physique looked great. He looked great in training. I saw, his training videos and whatnot. This guy is pumped. He's coming in here, and he's going to take this seriously. It's 8 rounds, man. So, look, a lot of shit can happen in 8 rounds. But, I mean, if Tyron Woodley loses this fight, you know what? I'll be shocked. And even if Jake Paul loses, yeah, I'll be shocked, man. I'll be shocked, dude. I'm telling you, man.
Well, here he comes.
I'm going to have to. He's coming.
Here comes Woodley.
So,
Woodley's coming out. He's making the walk.
Look, even if Jake Paul loses this fight, the guy's still going to come back. That's how, strong he is. He's got that Conor presence. People are going to pay to watch him. Dude, he's got a packed stadium. He's got, pay-per-view, sales up the wazoo. He's not going to get anything close to Conor McGregor numbers. But you know what? Let's just say, hypothetically, he beats Tyron Woodley. This guy is going – they were talking about him fighting Fury that had a fight earlier
fight
in
Conor.
The undercard. Exactly. And that's where it's going to go. He doesn't want to fight Fury. He doesn't want to fight anybody else. He doesn't want to fight Usman. He wants to fight the money fights. And he's building up that money fight. And he can fight Conor. And let's just say Conor loses and whatnot. That's a fight that couldn't happen. Even if even if Jake Paul loses tonight,
I don't
and
think
he
it'll
wins
be
his next couple of fights.
I don't think it'll be
it could
Conor,
happen,
though.
Man.
Not next. Conor won't be next.
You know what, Dave?
It won't be next because Conor's still he's in the UFC, and Dana's not going to let him go do that. The only reason he was able to go fight Mayweather is because Dana allowed it and wanted to get involved with Mayweather. Dana has shown no interest in getting involved with these Paul brothers. I mean, Jake Paul said that his beef with Dana would end when he knocks Dana White out in some nightclub that they meet up in Vegas or something. So I don't think Dana White is going to do any kind of co-promotion with Jake Paul or Showtime anytime soon.
Look, and this makes sense. Like, I saw the Fury fight tonight, Tommy Fury fighting Anthony Taylor. That was the first fight of the card, man. And let me tell you, it was damn bad. It started off there was no love in that fight. It was really not great. And apparently, this is the guy that can challenge Jake Paul because they're the same weight and whatnot, legitimate boxer and whatnot. Looking at Fury, no offense, man, I can see Jake Paul beating that guy. So that can be a legitimate fight with a boxer. If he beats Woodley tonight, man, I'll be shocked. But
yeah, okay, say he beats Woodley tonight, and then I don't think he fights that Fury guy because who's Fury? He fought in the first fight on the card. He's not really that known. He's Tyson Fury's brother. Like, I don't know if that really works. Like, okay, he's a boxer, but it's not as big a name as Tyron Woodley, former UFC champion. I think he's got to fight. It's going to be another MMA guy. If he beats Woodley tonight, it'll probably be some other MMA guy. Maybe Anderson.
Who can he fight, man? I can see that happening, but you know what?
But I think that's a bad. I think that's a bad idea for him. I don't think Anderson Silva is a good fight for Jake Paul because Anderson Silva is his size. He may be like 48 years old, but Anderson Silva is one of the greatest strikers in MMA history. He just beat Cesar Chavez Jr. in his boxing fight that he just did like a month ago, and he's about to have a tune-up fight there with Tito Ortiz just in case one of the Paul brothers come calling, I think, Anderson's going to beat the hell out of Tito Ortiz in that boxing match on the De La Hoya Vitor Belfort undercard that's actually happening on September 11th somehow, apparently. But Anderson, I think, would be a bad move for Jake Paul. I think he'll just find another, ex-UFC fighter, maybe, I don't know.
Who knows, dude?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe they'll get Masvidal.
But listen.
I know they've been talking trash, right? Masvidal and Jake Paul. But Masvidal's still under UFC contract again,
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Dave.
Dana might let I don't think he lets Masvidal go. Masvidal's a cash cow, too, for Dana. Dana's not letting him go anywhere. Here comes Jake Paul. He's got like a Cleveland jersey.
Let me take a look at his shorts.
Such a hometown jersey with all the different sports teams on it. He's got a jersey with the logos of every local sports team on it.
He's got the Cavaliers. He's got the Indians. He's got Hawaii.
It does say Indians. I thought they're not called the Indians anymore.
Man, how can you go against like Cleveland Indians, man? That's a classic team.
But it's a little bit. I mean, the logo, the guy, it's a little much, AJ. And they changed the name.
No, it's a little much that people are making like a big stink about it. That name. But anyways,
take it easy there, Marshmallow. Take it easy, Marshmallow. I'm gonna start calling you Marshmallow over there. You big marshmallow with all your.
I used to like the Indians, man. They had a good movie too and all. Now they blew it.
It was a good movie.
Listen,
what's the name of the new team? What are they called?
I don't even know, and I don't care, and I won't support them. I'll tell you that right now. I said that from the time that they were going to change the name. I said it's over, man.
Take it easy. Take it easy over there.
Dave, let me get.
You're about to get canceled again, AJ.
What am I going to get canceled for? I'm entitled to my opinion.
Because you're a marshmallow. That's why. Because you're a big marshmallow.
Listen, Dave, listen to this. Let's take a look at the undercard, by the way. Man, there were some legitimate fights on this card. We got to give some, love to, Montana Love. Now, that was a great fight. Daniel Dubois, who destroyed my Italian Stallion, man. I called it Italian Stallion is dead. He came in and he got knocked out 3 times.
His real name?
Must be, man, because a lot of love in that fight. That guy is awesome.
I saw that guy. He knocked out that Russian guy.
That Russian guy was good, man. Holy smokes! It was Baranchek.
I saw some of
that fight. In that fight. He hurt him too. That was an action. That is what you want to see in boxing. You want to see like a legitimate fight. A real technical fight. It was like back and forth. That was awesome because the first fight with Fury and Anthony Taylor really stunk. And I'm like, please don't let the rest of the boxing matches be this. But they came out strong. all the way to Daniel Dubois that came out, man. He was awesome. Who comes from the UK, by the way. I thought he was going to be from Quebec, but he's not. Then Amanda Serrano fighting Mercado. Wow. Like, you're talking like WBO, the WBC, featherweight champion. She came, she delivered, man, and what a hell of a fight, man. So, you know what? This was a really good Showtime card up to this point. Now, let's see how it ends. The first card was horrible. Let's hope the last fight is going to be something interesting. But the in-betweens, man, delivered. And you know what? That's what you want to see in boxing, man. You know, that's what you want to see. But we'll see, man. You know, as a UFC guy and, you know, old boxing guy, you know, especially my dad who was in boxing, I was going to share a story, man. I was looking at it, you know, my dad and his photos. And I remember my dad went to the Olympics in 1960. He went with Gaby Mancini, who was a Canadian boxer representing Canada. He was Italian. And he came from the same hometown as my dad. And I remember my dad went and, he told me, I wasn't around at that point, but he went to go see Gaby Mancini fight in Rome at the Olympics. And my dad told me that he had the opportunity to see Cassius Clay fight, in that Olympic where he won gold medal, if I'm not mistaken, for light heavyweight. So my dad, man, back then, you know, involved with like boxing and whatnot, like, it's just amazing. You know, I was just looking at some stuff and I'm like, you know what? Like, my dad loved boxing and whatnot. And that's why, like, it kills me to see, like, these jabroni fights and these, like, spaghetti fights and then, like, you know, these people that kill boxing.
Fights?
Which, yeah, that, like, basically they're like wet noodles, man. It's like an embarrassment. But you know what? Tonight's Showtime fight, you know, other than, like, the first card, the rest were awesome, man.
All right. Well, like here we go. We got the referee in the ring. They're doing the announcing of the guys. We've got Woodley and Jake Paul in the ring right now, and they're getting ready to do their thing. There's two ladies behind the announcer guy. They're standing there for no reason in particular.
No. They're there for a reason, dude.
What's the reason?
Everybody has a reason. Whatever it is, I like it.
I don't know what the reason is, but they're there. They're
smiling.
They seem happy to be there. All right.
Double thumbs up.
Take it easy. Again, Marshmallow.
Look at Woodley with his... What are you talking about? I'm allowed to, like, express my, like, my boxing love for everybody.
All right.
The Cutman, the Water Boy.
Angelo Contagone says the new name of the Cleveland baseball team is the Guardians. All right. Thank you, Angelo.
What a sucky name. Sucks.
Shout out to Angelo, Brian, Doug, Jason Pete in the chat as well. Jason joining us all the way from Mexico. We're about to have this fight. Woodley's got headphones on. He's got to take those off. They're taking off his little vest he's wearing.
He looks good, man.
He's always in good shape. Doesn't look
always
that big.
Always in good shape, dude.
It's a little small.
You don't think? Well, he's shorter than, like, Jake Paul. There's no doubt about it. Like,
yeah, he doesn't
Jake
look
has, like 4-inch height.
He's looked thicker in his
advantage.
life. Woodley.
Well, yeah, when we were looking back in the days, his arms were, like, a little bit more massive, but he's still cut, dude. Like, this guy still has a six-pack. He's ready to fight, dude. Tonight is going to be, I'm telling you, there's no way I can see Woodley losing to this. You know, even if it goes all 8 rounds, he should win by decision. But I really want to see, like, a stoppage, and I think that's what's going to happen.
We'll see, AJ.
Like I said, if Jake Paul loses, he's still going to –
You're often wrong on your fight picks, so we'll see. I'm not that convinced either way. I can't be that convinced with Jake Paul because he's really still an unproven commodity. But I do think he's got enough to beat Tyron Woodley tonight.
Listen, let's be honest. When Ben Askren came to fight Jake Paul, he was like joking around. He looked out of shape. He looked in the worst shape he ever did in all the years of, like, combat sports.
Who did you pick in that fight?
It wasn't. Well, I was hoping that Ben Askren would win,
right.
But I did say that Jake Paul was, like, really looked good, and you're going up against the worst striker, like, in MMA. What's going to happen?
Well, I'll tell you this.
If it was an MMA fight, it'd be a different pick. But I remember I said Jake Paul is going to win it. Not that I want to see him win. But you know what? He actually, it's one of those guys that you start to like. He puts a lot of time and effort into boxing. So I got to give it to him because
the fight's about to start here, AJ.
Boxing.
The fight is about to start. We've got everybody clearing out of the ring. It's Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. I'm going for Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul will wind up winning this fight by knockout.
Poirier is there.
Yeah, Poirier was there. I saw Dave Chappelle was there. All sorts of people are in the house. This is a big
Chappelle,
fight.
One of the best, man.
Packed fight in Cleveland, Ohio. Round 1 starts. Woodley throws a big one that just hits air. That was a weird.
He's probably just trying to back him up. That's all he's doing. He's gonna just try to test him, see like how he's gonna defend himself. Does it surprise you? Woodley's gonna go for those big, heavy rights, man. That was his bread and butter for winning. And that's where it was coming down to. What I said is if he could connect Jake Paul with one of those punches, that's where the difference is. And I think I saw Jason Pete saying the same thing earlier. You know, it's like, let's see if he hasn't been tested.
No, he hasn't.
But like I
We'll
said,
see
if
if
he beats
Woodley tests
tonight,
him
man,
here.
I'm gonna
We'll
be.
see.
It's gonna be a tough night, man, for me to go to sleep.
8 rounds of 3 minutes apiece here. This is a real fight. This isn't an exhibition. This is a pro fight. Yep. And not much happening so far in the first minute. Jake Paul circling. Yeah. Woodley controlling the center of the ring.
I'm sure Jake is not going to want to commit right away. He's going to want to see what kind of
careful.
style Woodley's going to come out with.
Woodley hits hard still. Right now, he's still going to hit you hard.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. But like I said, Jake Paul, man, he's got to worry with a guy who knows how to defend himself. A guy who's been boxing with Brown for in Freddie Roach's gym for over decades plus. It's not like Tyron Woodley hasn't had any boxing experience. He has had a lot of boxing experience. And that's the difference. That's what I was trying to explain earlier. You know, mixed martial arts, but these guys, when they're boxing, they're only boxing. There's nothing else but boxing.
Yeah,
so this is a legitimate fighter.
Whoa.
Still MMA, but it doesn't matter.
Nice nice little hook there from Jake Paul, who's landed a little bit more than Woodley here. Not landing a ton, but he landed a couple jabs. He landed a good little hook there. Woodley hasn't really landed much of anything.
No, but he's driving
He's not touching
him
though.
Forward.
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter.
The footwork. Yeah, I think it matters who's landing punches, no?
No, absolutely. But it's not like this is a Ben Askren that it's over in a nanosecond there as well.
No, it's certainly going to go more than a round here. We're 30 seconds left in the first round.
And you see the way Woodley his defense is pure boxing defense, man. There's no box drop hands like Ben Askren did that didn't represent boxing at all. You know?
No, Woodley definitely looks better than Ben Askren so far. For sure.
And he looks better than the first fight of tonight's Showtime boxing match.
Yeah, but he lost the first round. First round in the books, I think Jake Paul won. Landed a little bit more than Woodley. Woodley didn't do much of anything. Controlled the center, but that's about it. Not a very eventful first round. Not much happened there.
Yeah, but he threw his jabs, man, and they were landing. That's the thing with Woodley. He's going to throw them. And remember, he's got
Are we watching a different fight?
No, not at all. I'm watching the fight as is. I mean, Woodley is.
I didn't see any jabs land from Woodley.
Wow, nice thrown rights by Woodley. I mean, once he connects with that right, man, I'm telling you.
How did you score that first round?
There's plenty of.
You scoring it for Woodley? Sounds like somehow.
You know what? It could be either or, Dave. You know what? It could be
either or
on that round.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
I disagree strongly with that one, AJ. I don't think so.
I don't know where you saw anything more where he dominated that first round.
Wow.
Jake Paul. I think it was very even. And
Second
we'll see,
round.
Man, this fight, when it gets to the third, fourth, fifth round, man, this is where we're gonna see where experience kicks in, and that's where Woodley's gonna start to dissect this guy.
I just want Woodley to get knocked out in the middle of one of these sentences that you're so certain about this that could easily go. Jake Paul just putting the guy to sleep at any moment.
Listen, Jake Paul,
this too. I mean, what are you talking about?
Dude, Jake Paul could put this guy to sleep, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Woodley could put him to sleep too. They're both dangerous. But, you know.
But it's the experience that
real.
that concerns me as they're going into the fight further. Here we go. Let's go.
Minute into the second round here, Jake Paul has landed a couple. Woodley is not really. He's just not able to get inside on Jake Paul. Oh, Woodley landed a little jab there. There's one.
Exactly, you know, and just like listening to another commentator, and he like, yeah, you know, Jake Paul like fights really like straight up, and you could see Woodley doing that crouching thing, kind of like that Tyson style in a sense, because he's got to get in. You're right, he's got to get in. But once he gets in, man, if you can get him up against the ropes, man, it could be interesting.
Yeah.
But his defense is right on mark, man. You're not gonna be able to knock out Woodley here unless you're able to like set up with some combinations and then get that right from Jake Paul. But Woodley has this like really good defense, man. But Jake Paul's doing very well, man. I got to give him credit.
Yeah. Landed a nice jab there. Oh. One to the body, one to the head from Jake Paul. Nice little combination. 45 seconds left in the second round here. That was pretty nice. That was a nice little combo.
Yeah, the only thing that I like, you know, what I'm getting a little bit nervous is that when Paul does like that side to side movement, right? Like he moves side to side, like sort of like the step movement. I think he could get caught. Like if he does that too often, he could get caught, man. He could land right into that right of Woodley. Look at his footwork.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Like,
but, okay.
Like you can almost see the setup of like that jab when he throws, like his toes lift, and you know he's throwing that jab. He lifts the toes, so I mean you can almost predict where it's coming from. But you know, nice combinations by Jake Paul in this round. But
yeah, Jake Paul definitely wins the second round here. Angelo dropping a super chat. Angelo Contagona says if Woodley loses, it'll be a big blow to MMA. I don't know.
Really,
I don't know about that.
Sports.
Yeah, it's a different sport, and I mean it's
like,
disappointing.
If this was an MMA
I think
fight,
it's disappointing,
if this
but
was
I don't
an
think
MMA fight, it's a different. It would be like Ben Askren would have won his last fight, and I can assure you Tyron Woodley would win this fight. It's a different game, man. Different angles, different like expectations.
Yeah.
To that type of style of fighting, you know, you don't have to worry about anything else except like the jabs, the hooks, the rights. You know, going into a southpaw stance, like tricking things up. But you don't have to worry about elbows and knees and takedowns and chokes and
it's
like,
a different sport.
You know,
all right,
we're
into the third round.
Hits.
We're into the third round here, AJ. Round 3. Oh, Jake Paul with a little shot to the body. Oh, but Woodley countered really well with a nice counter right hand as Jake Paul kind of leaned into the body there. We're in the third round. I think this is where it's going to get more interesting.
Yeah,
this is where the fight, it starts becoming a fight. Guys get a little bit more tired. You're into the fight. You've had a good 6 minutes of fighting under your belt, and now you're into the real nitty-gritty of what this is. And this is where we'll see. Brian Firth dropping a super chat saying, can I ask you a wrestling question, Dave? Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not?
Why not, man?
This is basically pro wrestling as well. This is sports entertainment. This isn't really sports right now that we're watching.
Gloves. Well,
sports entertainment.
I mean,
ooh,
sports entertainment. Yeah.
Jake Paul with another nice combo. That he's got that little right hook to the body, and then the straight left hand right up the middle. He's landed it a couple times now. Oh, Woodley came in, and Paul fired back with a nice little smack with the left hand. This is where it can open up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I think Woodley's trying to land the big one. He wants to test this guy's chin, but I don't know.
And he's going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to, AJ. I don't think so.
I think he will. Like I said, like the
Oh,
first couple of rounds.
that was
What?
a really
What?
nice uppercut from Jake Paul with about a minute left here in the third round. Jab, uppercut. Simple and effective. $43 to 41. 40 seconds left in the third round. Jake Paul with a little double jab in Woodley's face. Woodley's not having success, man. He's not scoring. And Jake Paul is really opening up a lot more in this third round. And this is probably the most convincing Jake Paul round so far. I think he's won every round so far. And I think this one is the most convincing as far as volume and solid punches landed. Going
Woodley
for broke.
Just shook it off.
He's dominating the fight.
Listen, his mouth is open. Woodley just like, he got those combinations, and he's just like, okay, whatever, let's go. You know, that's the difference. And I'm telling you, we're going to go into the fourth round and halfway through the fight, but this is where it gets a bit interesting. Because if Jake can continue, I'd be surprised. His mouth is open. Woodley's going to open up here, man.
We'll see. Jake Paul, I think, has won all 3 rounds so far in the fight. I think he won that third round more than any round that we've seen so far. Look at that.
Look, I just
boom,
comment,
uppercut. Oh, it didn't land as clean
Jake
as
Paul
it looked. On the replay,
no,
it doesn't look
very
as
well.
nice.
There's no doubt about it.
But he's definitely winning.
Yeah, Jake Paul is doing really well against, like, you know, a former champ and a pro. Uh-oh.
Hold on real quick. Brian wants to know what I think of Ric Flair appearing on NWA and Trevor Murdoch winning the... I don't know. I don't even know. That was a question he super chatted for. I don't even know. I didn't see the NWA thing. Flair showing up, I think, is fine. Trevor Murdoch winning their world title is like, huh? I didn't even know that happened. It's not on my radar, really. Trevor Murdoch. Round 4. Oh. Woodley connected with a good one there.
Woodley knows, man. He's got to go for the win here. Because if he doesn't, he's never going to hear the end of it. You know, make it a bit interesting. He got a heavy right in that third round.
Who did? Woodley? How are you seeing this whole fight for Tyron Woodley? What are you talking about? What's going on over there?
I'm talking about the end of the third round, man.
I feel like we're watching different fights. Jake Paul with a nice jab. Jake Paul firing. You know, he's controlling this fight right now. Minute 45 left in the fourth round. Almost halfway through this fight. This could go the distance. I mean, you never know. I don't know how this is going to go, but you know, Jake Paul said he was going to finish him in 2. I mean, both of these guys were saying they were going to knock the other out. But I'll tell you, the later this goes, I think it might be better for Woodley, because Woodley's been in some real fights. You know, he's fought 25 minutes in MMA. I think he's more of an athlete than Jake Paul. He's been doing, I don't know, like sports, you know, real sports, and training like an athlete for longer than Jake Paul has. So I think the deeper this goes, the more Woodley is going to do well. And now Woodley just landed a big right hand that almost dropped Jake Paul. The ropes kind of saved him there. He bounced off the ropes. Jake Paul is in big trouble right now with about 40 seconds left. Woodley is hunting him around the cage, around the ring. Woodley landed a hard shot that rocked Jake Paul, and Jake Paul is definitely hurt and in recovery mode right now. Oh, but Paul landed one back that seemed to seemed to stun Woodley, too, on the way in. And Dave Chappelle is in the background jumping up and down. Wow.
Stay in the car, man.
Sorry I didn't have a better answer for you there, Brian. I didn't see the NWA pay-per-view. Trevor Murdoch, though, I mean, as your world champion, I don't know. Brian Firth is a super chat leader so far tonight. Thank you, Brian. 4 rounds in the books. I think that was Woodley's round. It was starting to look like Jake Paul was just going to cruise into this fight in firm control, but he's taking some deep breaths now in the corner. Woodley hit him with a solid, it was a left hand. Well, no, I don't think it was the left. I don't think, no, that's not the left that wobbled him. I think it was the right here that
it was the right that
wobbles him. They're going to show the replay here. And he was, boom, big overhand right. Oh, that's still not the one. Show me the one that wobbles him. They're not showing it. Give me the replay of that one. Give me the replay of the big one. Oh, there's the big one. He's a little off balance, but he definitely took a big punch to the side of the head, and you could see he's in trouble. The look in his eye was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
This is real, man.
Yeah. All right, this fight just got real.
He didn't go down, man. And,
and Woodley is like...
It shows that Jake Paul is tough, man.
Woodley is smelling the blood in the water. He's going for it. Jake Paul needs to survive this. He's in big trouble right now. Oh, he fires with a nice little jab, though. This is a fight.
Yep.
This is like a real fight that's happening. Jake Paul is like showing toughness. What's going on?
He sort of threw that big right, and it kind of hit the back of Jake Paul's head. But if he would have got just a little bit lower, like into that jawline, it would have been probably lights out.
The unofficial scorecard has it first 3 rounds for Jake Paul and the last round for Tyron Woodley. That's exactly how I'm seeing it. Woodley seemed to be taking over in that last round, and he's continuing that momentum shift here in the 5th.
Yeah, and it's going to go all the way to the 8th if he doesn't stop it prior,
Wow. Woodley's in control, man. He looks more firm on his feet than Jake Paul does right now.
Sure,
Paul seems labored and a little bit wobbly. Woodley seems like he's good. But Jake Paul's throwing some heavy bombs, man. This fight could change in an instant. It's interesting. Paul's still in it. He's not out. He's still fighting.
Man. Listen, man, you start chopping down the tree, man. Experience kicks in, and this is where you win that fight. But again, like I said, Jake Paul is pretty tough because you're getting like right-handed from like Woodley.
Oh, Jake Paul lands. Jake Paul lands a left hand, then licks his gloves, says, "Let's go."
Nice. There you go, man. Jake Paul, man, he brings on the heat. I got to give him credit, this kid.
Like this fight
He's only 24 years old, man.
Jake Paul was in firm control of this fight up until that last round. I'm not convinced that he's not going to turn things around here. This fifth round's been close. He just landed a nice little jab there. Woodley is not as successful in this round as he was in the last round. He was a little bit more aggressive at the beginning of it, but it didn't really translate to shots landed and points scored. And right now I think Jake Paul might be slightly edging him out, but it's pretty tight. It's a very tight 5th round. But late in this round, Jake Paul has taken over. Jake Paul is in control of this round right now, as there's about 5 seconds left. Jake Paul lands another 1-2. Woodley says no, but Jake lands another one as the bell rings for the 5th round. I don't know, man. That 5th round was difficult. I could see that 5th round going to Jake Paul. I could see that 5th round going back to him. Woodley has not looked great in that round, man. I thought he was really on his way to knocking him out. He had him wobbly in the 4th, but here comes a 5th round, Jake Paul. He's all the way back in it. This is a good fight.
It is, man. Showtime is like so far like winning on the fact that it was worth to buy this pay-per-view.
Super chat. Thank you, Angelo. Angelo says, come on, Woodley. Dropping the super chat. Thank you, Angelo. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of rooting for Tyron Woodley. I'm an MMA guy. I'm not a huge fan of the Paul brothers, but, you know, he's definitely earning respect in this fight. He earned respect in the Ben Askren fight, and he's in this fight here with Woodley. He's looking good. I actually thought he'd be able to finish Woodley, but I don't know. We'll see how this fight goes. There's 3 rounds left. We're in the 6th. Woodley's coming aggressive here in the 6th, but just kind of clinching him up against the ropes, not doing much. Referee stepping in. If there were takedowns in this fight, I mean, it would have been over a long time ago, but it's boxing.
Absolutely.
I like MMA because I like jiu-jitsu, you know? My favorite part of fighting is when you, like, choke guys and break their arms and shit. The striking part is fun, but
nothing like a nice anaconda choke or an Ezekiel.
Like that heel hook from that guy yesterday. Did you see that guy's knee pop in a heel hook on UFC?
Jesus,
I love that
man.
shit. That was awesome. They were playing 50-50, and it's dangerous. One guy went for the toe hold, the other guy went for the heel hook, and the guy with the heel hook won out in the end. Shit was nasty.
That's a Ryan Hall special. That's a Ryan Hall special right there, man.
50-50 is dangerous, man.
If you don't,
unless you're
if
confident.
You don't know how to defend that.
Unless you're, you know, reap the knee,
Man,
baby. Just reap the knee. Come on.
Man.
What are you doing?
Damn.
Why is nobody reaping the knee? Nobody attempted to really control the leg. They were just like, fuck it, submission time. And sometimes you pay the price for that. But this is boxing.
Quickly before, listen, just quickly, man. If people would have went with
Jake Paul's landing a flurry of punches here. Jake Paul's just going bananas on Woodley. That was a nice 2-3 punches landed in a row. Nice combination. Sorry, go ahead. Putting our picks over last night.
Like,
my lock of the night, Brian Battle.
Special, man.
My Brian Battle lock of the night came through. And we also, didn't we both pick Giga Chikadze to win?
Yep.
He was the underdog. We both had Giga. But my lock of the night, Brian Battle, coming through, winning the Ultimate Fighter. That was pretty good. I also took Brady Heastand to beat Ricky Tercios, and that fight ended by split decision going to Tercios in a war.
Yep.
So I'm not mad at losing that pick. If
listen,
one
you
judge,
sold me on Tercios.
Tercios was awesome, right? That guy was amazing.
Yeah, man. Listen, I went with Tercios after the way you were talking about it. I'm like, let me go with this kid. But then the Kevin Lee, we predicted it. Kevin, man, hot and cold, and I said, I'm not confident. No, he's not there anymore.
We're in the 6th round, 30 seconds left here. Woodley and Jake Paul. I know, we want to talk about the UFC too, but there's a big boxing match going on. Woodley and Paul, 20 seconds left here in the 6th round. I think Jake Paul came back in the 5th. I think he won the 5th, and I think he's winning the 6th round too. Woodley is having trouble in the 6th, getting punches together.
I gave it to Woodley, man. Like, looking at the fights, because I'm just a little bit behind, he got everything from uppercuts to the jabs. He got in.
All right.
No, 5th went to Woodley.
Okay, well, 6th round is in the books now. So, I don't know. That 6th round was tight, but I think I scored for Jake Paul, too. I've got Jake Paul up 5-1. I thought Woodley had the 4th, but Paul had the first 3 and the 5th and the 6th. I think Jake Paul's winning this fight, but, you know, again, I'm an MMA guy. I'm a grappler. What do you think, AJ?
I'm just gonna see I'm just a little behind here, but man, I'm just seeing like Jake Paul like trying to do everything to stay in this fight. He's looking a little bit slower. He's definitely tiring out. It looks
sure, but what is Woodley doing against that?
Woodley's getting it. He's getting the body punches in. He's getting those hooks. You're not seeing all the combinations that he's throwing in. And Woodley, hey, he wanted to throw a Superman punch at the end.
He looks deflated in the corner. Woodley looks deflated in the corner. He looks sad. I don't know. He just doesn't look happy. Looks annoyed.
Man, so does look.
Round
Jake Paul
7
is, like,
of 8. 7 of 8. Man,
whoever wins these next 2 rounds is winning this fight. Yeah, I see somebody saying Jake Paul owning the man. I don't know if he's owning the man, but he's doing really well against that man. Yeah. I think, look, it could be, it could be, but, there's still 2 more rounds to go, and I think these 2 rounds are really important for either fighter.
I think it's 5-1.
But Jake Paul, man, listen, Jake Paul, man,
unofficial scorecard on Showtime, they're scoring it 5-1. 5 rounds to 1. I'm scoring it 5 rounds to 1. I saw somebody chatted there 5 rounds to 1.
Showtime is on crack. Well, it's only normal. Jake Paul owns 50% control of the broadcast and promotion of this fight. So no kidding, they're going to give it 5-1. Let's be honest.
The judges will too.
The only way Tyron's going to have to win this is really by like stopping this guy, because if it's going to the scorecard, I mean, if you're saying 5-1 right now, I think that's a little bit.
What about everybody in the chat? Give me a score. If you're watching this fight, let me know. Hit me up in the chat. Let me know how you're scoring this fight through 6. We're in the 7th round. Woodley coming in. Jake Paul firing back with a nice little counter. Jake Paul does look tired, though, for sure. Woodley seems fresher.
Well, man.
Woodley seems fresher, but it's not translating to him winning the fight. It's weird.
Listen, right now he's got.
This is the thing with Woodley, man. He doesn't put the foot on the gas. He doesn't put the foot on the gas, and that's been his problem in MMA for the past few fights. He's just like he's not pulling the trigger. It's like he's in there, but he's not in there. And that's what this fight feels like. And that's why I picked Jake Paul, because Woodley is just not – he's gun-shy. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure exactly why, but Woodley is not as aggressive in certain moments as he was in the past.
Listen,
he landed a couple there.
Once.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand why he's so – like, didn't he feel timid in his past few UFC fights? Like he wasn't really –
yeah, he stepped back. It's not like
in it
Woodley
to win
when
it.
He was like –
it was weird.
When he was tramping. Yeah. Listen, man, maybe – who knows?
Could be injuries, over time.
Could be
Who
everything.
Knows? Who knows?
39 years old, man. 39 is like not old, but it is old when you've been fighting at that level for so many years,
Jake Paul lands a clean right hand towards the end of this round, and Woodley just kind of ties him up. That was a good shot from Jake Paul. The cleanest shot landed all round. 7th round in the books. That was not an overly convincing round either way, but I think Jake Paul slightly took it there, that right hand at the end. Tyron landed a couple there in the 7th, but I think another round for Jake Paul. Somehow.
And that's the thing with Tyron. He wasn't like really like he's engaging, but he's not really putting on that pressure. And like I heard, man, Jake is gonna steal the 7th round, and he did probably.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, man. If you're not gonna go in there and really like make the guy drop, remember what I said? He's got to make Jake Paul drop down to one knee. If you don't do that, man, it's over.
And he hasn't hurt him.
He hasn't.
I mean, he did kind of wobble him in the 4th, but it wasn't enough. It has not been enough.
Look, Jake Paul's going to come out of this with the victory if he doesn't get stopped in the 8th. And the guy's mystique is going up, man. This guy has become like the Connor of 24 who came out of nowhere, came out of a YouTube video, out of Disney. And you know what? Disney wins again. Fucking Disney wins again. Do you believe this shit?
Yes,
fucking Walt Disney is crypto
like
a chamber, like frozen, like whatever, if that's true. He's probably like flipping out right now.
Oh, Woodley's
Mickey
landing
Mouse
some good
is
shots
cashing
here.
Big.
Woodley knows he needs a finish. Woodley knows he needs to put this kid away.
He needs to knock him out.
And he landed a couple good shots there. Nice little left hand. Unofficial scorecard again, scoring it exactly the way I have. 6 rounds to 1 for Jake Paul. But Woodley here, he's aggressive a little bit more. Oh, Jake Paul fires with a nice right hand. Woodley says no, but a lot of times when they say no, it means ouch.
Look, Austin, I'm giving Jake Paul credit.
Yeah, finally you got to give Jake Paul credit. It's taken you 7 rounds of Jake Paul beating Tyron Woodley for you to finally give him credit for beating Tyron Woodley.
Listen,
because
man,
you know the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is Jake Paul's about to win a decision over Tyron Woodley in about 90 seconds. This fight's going to be over. Jake Paul lands another straight left hand, solid, that stopped Woodley in his tracks.
And the crazy thing is that Tyron looks like fresh. He looks like he hasn't, he looks good. He hasn't lost a beat from the first first round. But honestly speaking, man, he hasn't really like empowered Jake Paul at all. Jake Paul, man,
He's done nothing, and
he,
that's just what Woodley has done in the past couple of years, man. It's just Woodley's game.
this will be his fifth fight. Fifth fight of
I don't know what he's in it for. I think he's in it to fund his rap career. You know, I don't think he's in it to win fights. He's in it to make money so that he can spend it on studio time to support his rap career that will not bring in any kind of money. Because no one's looking for Tyron Woodley's raps. No one.
No one's going to buy his raps now.
Sorry, Tyron. It's just true. 20 seconds left in this fight. Oh, Woodley with a nice right hand. Come on, Woodley. You got to knock him out here if you want to win this fight. But it's not happening. It's not happening. Paul's
going to win it, man.
And, you know, Woodley may have even won this last round. I don't know. Probably not, though.
Yeah, he was stalking him down. No, he's winning the round.
I don't know.
Jake Paul survived,
Woodley
man.
putting his arms in the air. Woodley putting his arms in the air like he has won the fight. Jake Paul also celebrating. I think Jake Paul definitely just won that fight. 6 rounds to 2 or 7 rounds to 1, whatever. I could maybe give that 8th round to Tyron Woodley, maybe. Definitely the 4th. Every other round was Jake Paul's. I don't really care how you score it. Jake Paul wins a decision. 6-2, 7-1. It's all the same in the end. Jake Paul with a W over Tyron Woodley by decision. We're going to await the judges' scorecards to be read here, but Woodley got outboxed by the YouTube kid tonight, and possibly will have to get Jake Paul's name tattooed on his body now, which is real shameful. I suggest you shave your head, Tyron, and get it done on the top of your head and then grow hair on top of it. That's what I would do.
Jake Paul, man. Holy smokes, man.
He won.
Well, I was right about one thing, man. He was going to change the face of combat sports, and he did. This kid is coming 4-0, man, and he's making a name for himself, man. He's done what a lot of guys haven't done. He's beat like 2 guys that were champs at one point.
Jake Paul just did what Wonderboy Thompson could not do, outstrike Tyron Woodley. Jake Paul just did what Wonderboy Thompson, one of the best strikers in MMA, could not do in almost an hour of professional fighting. These guys fought 2 25-minute fights against each other, and Wonderboy had a draw in the first, a loss by decision in the second. Wonderboy, one of the best strikers in MMA, legitimately, still could not do what Jake Paul just did to Tyron Woodley. Dude, gotta give him credit for that. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You know, he couldn't do with Wonderboy.
It was a good fight.
And Wonderboy's still good.
Go figure, man. But the thing is, it went 8 rounds and it was a good fight. Like Jake Paul survived some really good combinations by Tyron. He got clipped with that right. Mind you, it was a bit in the back of the head, in my opinion. I think it was in the 4th round there. But Jake Paul survived, man. He survived, and he was able to go 8 rounds, man. You know, you got to tip your hat off to this kid. I mean,
he won.
This guy's stock has gone. Has gone up, man. You talk about making money. This kid
he's beat former NBA player, former Bellator champion, and now a former UFC champion, Tyron Woodley.
And now he's going after one guy, man. He's going to go after that. After Conor, that's what he wants to do, and you know what?
Conor's right half his size.
And there you go. Now you know he's gonna pick and choose, and he's gonna pick. He's gonna go after Conor. He's gonna call out Conor. I guarantee you, in the post conference, he's calling out Conor.
Conor might beat him.
The same thing to you, bitch.
Conor might beat him. I don't know. Conor's more dangerous than Woodley is these days. Although, off that leg, you know, who knows what his leg's going to be like, if he's going to be able to bounce around the way he used to.
Exactly.
That was a bad break. All right, here we go. Official decision.
It's easy, man. Jake Paul
Split decision?
What?
What? Who's scoring this
Are
shit?
you kidding me? Adelaide Bird is there.
Hold
What's
on.
up, man? Even I'm admitting that Jake won this.
77-75 Jake Paul.
Don't tell me this is going to be a fucking draw, man.
77-75 Woodley.
This better not be
Pardon
a draw,
me?
man. Don't give me this Triple G shit.
78-74 for the winner by split decision.
Okay.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, of course. What the hell? Who scored that fight for Tyron Woodley? Get their license taken away. How are they judging any professional combat? Who is scoring that fight for Tyron Woodley? I don't understand that. That was weird. Even AJ, the most diehard of diehard, would never, ever admit to picking the wrong guy. Even you scored that fight for Jake Paul, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There was like nothing that I can say Woodley won in any decision in that fight. Like there was rounds that he did win, but it wasn't enough to beat Jake Paul. Like, I'm kind of surprised. But you know what? It's boxing, man. All kinds of weird shit. Maybe they just did it for the hype. But I was worried that it was going to be a draw, man. There you go. Jake Paul, man.
Yeah, I was worried it was going to be a draw because then they'd do that again. You'd have to see that again. No one wants to see that.
No, man. Jake Paul, the problem child, man. He's become a problem for a lot of people. So
Woodley
for a
looks
lot of
so
people out there,
sad.
dude, he should be sad. He should put his fucking head in a bag and never come out. Take his rap career and throw it in the garbage as well. It's done. We'll see you working as a doorman in some club in Miami because even then, it can't be like a pretty heavy-duty club. It's got to be like a seniors club. But
take it easy. Take it easy.
It's over, man. It's an embarrassment.
Well,
I had no respect.
Wow.
You
were his number one fan, you know? An hour ago, you were his number one fan, and now you're saying he's a bum, no respect. Come on, man.
I wasn't my
Get
number
it
one
together.
fan. My number one fan is like Khabib. That's number one. But you know what? Let's look at boxing.
Super chat. Super chat.
He did well. Jake Paul, man, he really came out. Went 8 rounds. He went hard. He got hit. He got clipped. He was able to go to distance, man. His cardio was there. The kid was – it was a good fight, man. This wasn't an entertainment fight like we saw last time with, like, some of the shit what we saw on the other network. This was actually decent, man. This was a good, main event card. The co-main event was amazing. The 2 fights prior to that were amazing. The first fight of the night wasn't that great, but other than that, man, it was a good night of boxing.
Look at Nate Diaz. I agree with Nate Diaz. I disagree with you. I don't think that was a great fight. I think that was Jake Paul kind of being tired after the 4th or 5th round, and Tyron Woodley standing around doing nothing. These guys both suck. That's what Nate Diaz thinks about this. I think Nate Diaz would beat the shit out of both of these guys. That was not a good fight. That was not a good fight. I'm not entertained by that fight, really. Angelo Contagonis dropping a super chat saying, who in the hell scored the fight for Woodley? Yeah, who indeed?
I just saw G-Max in the house, man. G-Max.
Shout out to G-Mac. Yeah,
G-Mac
come on,
must
man.
Be like,
come on now.
Like, look, even Ariel Helwani was in there tonight, man. Holy smokes.
Jake Paul is saying it's bullshit that somebody scored it for Tyron Woodley. That is bullshit. That's crazy. How? I don't know. Maybe they had money on Woodley.
Maybe.
I mean,
man, it's just
whatever. He won. In the end, he won.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how you score it.
Yep, and you know what? He's turned me into a fan of his, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid, like, he came and he performed, and maybe
I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Suck, but
I'm still not a fan.
Listen,
G-Mac says it right. G-Mac says horrible.
What
He
he
ran
said.
around and Tyron barely chased him. That's exactly what happened. He ran around and Woodley barely followed him around. He was like, I'm going to kind of – it was like – it reminded me of the Israel Adesanya Yoel Romero fight where Yoel's just kind of standing there, not really doing anything, just like, let's just get this fight over with. I'm old. I don't want to fight anymore, This did not seem like Woodley wanted to really be there. He seemed frustrated by Jake Paul because he at a certain point, he seemed like he didn't want to be there anymore because he was just getting beat. He was getting outboxed. He had an opportunity. He looked like he was closing in the fourth round. It didn't work out. And then that was it. Like, he was frustrated in that fight. He was outclassed in a boxing match. You know,
and you know what's crazy?
Very disappointing to see him. To see him come out like that. You know, it's disappointing when you see a fighter like that. But again, this is the Tyron Woodley that exists in 2021. It's the same Tyron Woodley that existed in 2019 and 2020. The past 2 or 3 years of Tyron Woodley has been this guy. The guy that doesn't pull the trigger, the guy that just kind of around and waits to lose. And that's what we've seen. His last fight against Vicente Luque, like, he just waited around to lose. And that's what he was doing tonight. Jake Paul didn't win. Tyron Woodley just lost. Jake Paul didn't do that much. He really didn't. He did enough to win. He did enough to... Did he put Woodley to sleep? No. Could he have? You know, possibly if he tried a little harder. I mean, you know, if he was a little bit stronger, had a little bit more skill, and a little bit better cardio. Like, if his cardio was better, he probably does put Woodley to sleep, but his cardio wasn't that great. He seemed a little tired towards the end of that fight, and the last 4 rounds, you know, it was a tired Jake Paul getting kind of followed around the ring and countering a Woodley who was just kind of following him but not really throwing many shots and not landing much not throwing much that landed. It was disappointing. It wasn't a great fight by any stretch. I don't think that Jake Paul is a great boxer. I don't know. It had its moments, but like 6, 7, and 8, not that great. First and second round, not that great. Third, fourth, and fifth. There were 3 good rounds in this fight. Like the first and second round, they were kind of filling each other out, whatever. Jake Paul landed a couple more. The third round, things started to pick up a little bit more. Jake Paul landed. You know, he was kind of in a groove and landed some shots. Woodley came back in the fourth. Paul, you know, shifted the momentum back in the fifth. And then the 6th, 7th, and 8th was just like waiting for it to be over. This was not a great fight. It was a couple good rounds.
Look, man, I found it entertaining, regardless of, like, you know, if they're, like, elite according to Diaz, they both suck. I didn't think they both suck. I thought it was okay. I think there's a lot of comments coming in that Woodley wasn't as aggressive. Absolutely true. There were times when he could have been, like, right in there, man. He had the opportunity to get in, step up, and really, like, throw those combinations and really put heat, which he didn't. He stepped back. I mean, this kid here, it's his first time he's fighting 8 rounds, and he brought up a good point. Here he is fighting 8 rounds against Tyron Woodley, where Tommy Fury was fighting in the earlier fight only 4 rounds. I mean, the guy is able to go 8 rounds. So Tommy Fury wants to fight Jake Paul. I'm telling you, Jake Paul will probably beat Tommy Fury, like, from what I saw tonight anyways. Was it the best of boxing fights?
Woodley
No, but was it entertaining?
Rematch.
Yes.
Woodley wants a rematch.
What? Woodley should get, like, you know what? Get into your, like, rapping career with Vanilla Ice or whatever the hell you want to do now, dude. Because, you know what? If you can't perform in this fight, it's done.
Well, hold on.
Now you know why
Dana
White.
Hold on. Jake Paul's like, I think you want your payday. And Woodley's like, I want to fight. And they're saying that you're old news. And Woodley doesn't understand that this fight is not about him. It's about Jake Paul. Woodley is saying that if the ropes weren't there, you would have fallen through the ropes, and he wants to run it back, but he clearly lost that fight. Oh my God. Jake Paul said,
that's what I'm going to say.
Jake Paul said, if you get the tattoo of I love Jake Paul on your leg, then I'll give you the rematch. And Tyron Woodley's like, okay. Super chat. Woodley is so desperate to get this payday and a rematch of this fight. He's going to actually go through with the tattoo bet, and he's going to get Jake Paul's name tattooed on his leg. That is crazy. Jake Paul's like, no. Even his brother Logan jumped in, was like, you're old news. Woodley doesn't understand he's just the opponent. I think Jake Paul should really step up in competition, not fight Woodley again, a guy who he clearly dominated. Ridiculous.
They basically said, from what I gathered here, Jake Paul told him, like, if you want to run back this fight, if you get the tattoo that says "I love Jake Paul," we're gonna fight this again. So,
yeah,
the tattoo artist apparently is in the cage. What is this bullshit? But you know what? That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we'll see if that actually
happens.
If he gets
the tattoo,
I hope not. I don't want to see that. I mean, I think it's sad that Woodley's gonna get this guy's name tattooed, and then he's gonna fight him again and lose again. He lost quite badly. I thought he lost 6 rounds to 2, or 7 rounds to 1. You know. Wow. I don't understand. 78-74. Yeah, exactly. The unofficial scorecard has it exactly the way I had it. The 4th round and the 8th round going to Woodley. Every other round for Jake Paul. 6 rounds to 2, 78-74. Woodley wants to run it back for some reason. Brian Firth dropping a super chat saying, AEW All Out Watch Along Dave with Glenn and Johnny. That's not happening. Sorry, guys, not happening. I won't even be around for All Out. I'm going on vacation, so. See ya!
Glenn's going to bring the charcuterie, man. He's going to bring his wine. He's going to bring some cheese. He's going to bring,
you didn't
salami,
hear me. It's not
some
happening.
Gabagool.
I don't think you understand. I'm on vacation. I'm leaving. I'm gone. It's not happening. I won't be here for All Out.
Put us on there, man.
That's not happening either.
You should put us on, because I know what you're thinking. By the time it's over, we're all going to be batting again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't believe this shit. I can't believe I just watched what I watched tonight, fuck. Like,
really?
I'm happy, sad, frustrated, embarrassed. A fucking tattoo that's going to make the decision if it's going to be like a rematch. Did I hear all this shit tonight? Is this for real? Am I dreaming, dude? Is this for real?
Yes.
What time is it? 12:26 on a Sunday, man.
Yeah.
Woods MMA. I don't know how the hell this guy. He probably didn't even sleep, that poor guy in England.
Yeah.
G-Mac is up on a Sunday night. I know he's got to be up early in the morning for jiu-jitsu. Listen, man, to everybody
I don't know why you're so shocked.
Watch along. Thanks a lot. I'm fucking shocked,
Stop wrapping up the show. Shut up, AJ. This pay-per-view's not over. You're not done. You want to leave? Leave. I'll wrap up the show. I don't need you. You can go.
It's okay. What do you mean you don't need me?
Shout out to everybody watching. If you're a new viewer of the show, this is the Ringside Report Network. We do pro wrestling and MMA and sometimes these crazy fights. Wow. Are they negotiating something? It seems like they're negotiating the next fight right now. You have Woodley's agent. I'm pretty sure that's Malky Kawa, Woodley's agent there in the ring, negotiating a rematch right now. Are they actually going to get a tattoo and then do a rematch? Like, that's the craziest thing ever. And guys think I'm being like, I see Glenn is saying there's nothing saltier than a Dave after a Jake Paul event. No, I'm not salty at all. I really, I'm just going on vacation. I have a planned vacation that I'm taking, and it just so happens that it's going to start, the day before All Out. It's just, it's the way it worked out with the family and everything. It's unfortunate. I want to see All Out.
It's true, man.
Believe me, I want to see All Out. But we're going on vacation.
Anne of Green Gables came from and all that kind of stuff.
I'm going on vacation for like, a little while. We won't be gone for that long, like a week, 10 days, something like that. Maybe a couple weeks off from a couple of shows. We'll see. We'll give you the return dates and everything on Ringside Report Network on the shows, leading up to the vacation. I'm not going anywhere yet, but next Sunday for All Out is not happening because I'm taking a little brief vacation. I know we're on here a lot. You guys are used to me, but I'll be gone for a bit, and then I'll be back. It's just I wasn't able to go to Nova Scotia for a while. The province was kind of shut down. We got family over there, so we're going to go to Nova Scotia. Beautiful province, beautiful place. We like being there. So we'll go there, check out the ocean, check out some things, do the thing, see the family, eat some fish, and then come back. All right? That's what happens on the Ringside Report Network. Sometimes Dave takes vacations, and usually they're in beautiful Pictou, Nova Scotia. Shout out to all my maritime friends out there in Nova Scotia. Stop booking my vacation for me, AJ. I'm on vacation. I don't want to go on appearances and do other shows. Thank you very much. I'm on vacation. AJ's always trying to get me to do more shit, and he's not willing to do anything. Unbelievable.
Listen, I did this shit for tonight, man. Watching a watch-along for Jake Paul.
You loved it. This is what you love to do. This is your favorite thing. Shout out to you love this, AJ. You eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. You'd be watching this no matter what. See, Glenn thinks I'm salty, but you're actually the salty one. You're the salty one who's mad that your boy lost.
You know what, fuck? At this point here, I've become a Jake Paul fan now. That's it. I'm going to wear all orange like as of next week. That's it, man. Done. He sold me.
You are just mad. You're mad over there. Super chat. Are you mad?
That's it, man.
Let me ask you what makes you more mad.
We should just have another show.
What makes you more mad?
Ringside Report.
Is it the fact that Woodley lost? Or it's the fact that you picked Woodley to win and I picked Jake Paul to win and you were wrong? What makes you more mad, AJ?
That's a tough one to answer, man.
Be honest.
It's tough, dude. It's tough, man. I mean, you know what? I didn't think Woodley was going to go down. I was, like, really convinced, in my opinion, after I spewed out all those names that he beat. He's beat everybody, all the way down to Robbie Lawler. Now, all those fights mean shit. You know why? Because Jake Paul beat him. And that's the end of his legacy, that bonehead. Ben Askren, you got beat by Jake Paul. That's the end of your legacy.
Tyron.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Ben Askren anymore. They won't even put his name on like a milk commercial. It's done. You're finito. Woodley, your rap career is done. I'm just telling you that. I'm no expert, but like honestly,
it never started. It never began. Woodley doesn't have a rap career. Sure. I don't understand why he's spending money on a rap career. I think it's absolutely ludicrous. And the way that he talks about it, he's dead serious. Like he thinks he's going to blow up as a rapper. And it's like crazy. It's insane. I respect him for following his dream and going for it and all that kind of stuff. But it's just like, come on, dude. No one wants to hear you rap. And really, after tonight, no one wants to see you box anymore either. No one wants to see that.
I agree with you. Dude, I agree with you 1,000%, but I was laughing on the comment that Glenn made.
Hold on. Angelo Contagonis dropping a super chat saying, looks like Daniel Bryan's going to make his debut at All Out on Saturday. I think All Out, actually, Angelo, is going to be Sunday. It is September 5th. It is on a Sunday. It's next Sunday. It's a week from tonight. That's AEW All Out, and it does look like Daniel Bryan's going to be making his debut. So you know that I would love to be on right after All Out. I am definitely disappointed that I'll be missing All Out. I'm going to try and catch it in Nova Scotia, and I might tweet about it on the night, but there's going to be no show after All Out. And you know me, I'm the world's biggest Daniel Bryan fan, so I'm going to be disappointed to not be able to come and talk to you all about Daniel Bryan and how great he is and how Bryan Danielson is the greatest wrestler of all time. But, you know, I don't make all the rules around here. I can't make all the plans. So vacation happens, and it happens. Patrick C. Hamilton dropping a little vacation emoji super chat. Thank you, Patrick, for supporting the Ringside Report Network. As always, the OG, the first ever member of the channel. If you are a new viewer, you can become a member of the channel as well. Go to join.ringsidereport.net, join.ringsidereport.net, or just if you're watching us on YouTube on a desktop, you can click that join button beneath me. Click join, become a member. Help us out. Support the Ringside Report Network. We are completely independent. We give you our real views, and we give you the best views, and we give you winners in MMA each and every Thursday night. My lock of the night. I don't always give a lock. You know, a lot of fights are up in the air. I said I thought Jake Paul would win. I thought he'd win by knockout tonight. But you know, I didn't say he was a lock. I didn't say it was a guarantee. Woodley could have won this fight. Anything can happen. I didn't have that much faith in Jake Paul, but I had a ton of faith in Bryan Battle. He was my lock of the night on Thursday night when we previewed the UFC Ultimate Fighter finales, and he came through last night, Bryan Battle, getting it done. So we give you winners every Thursday night here on the Ringside Report Network. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, is the MMA show. after Monday Night Raw every Monday, after a Wednesday Night Dynamite for AEW on Wednesdays, and then right after SmackDown every Friday night here on the Ringside Report Network at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So we are very busy here with pro wrestling and MMA and even some of these weirdo boxing fights. And apparently I've been beaten up on AJ tonight, or AJ's just bruised and his ego is bruised and he's sad. Are you sad, AJ, tonight? Are you okay?
I'm just like concerned now for MMA fighters trying to get into boxing.
Oh my goodness!
Which, like I said, it just bothers me, man.
Let
it's just
Jake
like
Paul
now I'm never gonna
Anderson.
hear the end of it. We're gonna get all these jabronis coming out. It's like, yeah, you do jiu-jitsu. I saw a video and I'm gonna jiu-jitsu you to death. Glenn's gonna have all kinds of problems at his school now because I'm just telling you, man. Ben Askren fucked it up, and Tyron Woodley fucked it up even more.
Super chat. I don't agree with you. Angelo asking me if I'm going to do shows this week. Yes, shows this week, all week. We'll preview All Out. We'll do all that. And then next weekend we'll be off, and then we'll be off for like a week. But we are doing shows all this week. So I'll be back here tomorrow night right after Raw, and then Wednesday after Dynamite, Thursday for the MMA, and Friday after SmackDown. All this week is normal, and then I'll let you know this week. Angelo, I'm sure you'll be catching some of the shows this week. I'll give you more information on the vacation and when I'll be coming back and when our return show will be. I'll give you the date for the return show. I'm not even sure when that is yet. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things going on in my life personally that I don't talk about that that are happening.
PRG.
So, yeah, there's just a lot of different things happening. So, okay?
Viagra.
Yes.
Okay, bud.
That's right.
It's okay. It's all natural.
No, I've never needed that in my life. For any reason at all. What can I say? I'm very.
You know what I feel like doing right now?
Manly.
I'll tell you what I feel like doing right now. Because everything's been so orange. What time is it?
You said Viagra, and then you said I don't know what I feel like doing. What are you gonna do? Let's keep us monetized on YouTube here. Let's take it easy.
You know what?
Doug Hepburn saying we're not worthy.
Orange.
We're not worthy. Enjoy yourself, Dave. Well, thank you, Doug. You guys are worthy. You guys are the best.
I'm going to Orange Julep. That's what I was gonna say.
Ooh,
that's it,
can I come? Are you going right now?
You want to? I feel like going now. You want to go?
12:30 at night on a Sunday. I don't want to go to Orange Julep right now. Right now?
Better than Orange Julep, dude.
At 12:30, you're gonna go to Orange Julep. Man. You don't even live that close. Although you could just kind of zoom up on the DeCarry right now. Is DeCarry open?
It should be.
The auto route.
It should be open, man.
Right?
Listen, man, I'm telling you, man. Jake Paul sold me. That's it, man.
If the expressway is open, I could be there in 10 minutes, honestly. It's not that far. I take the 20 and take the
So let's do it, man. Let's get some Orange Julep and, like, fucking talk about this fight. And
I'm tired. I don't want to go out right now. Although I'm interested in going to get some julep. I love me some julep. You're tempting me. Are you really going to go to Orange Julep right now?
For sure, man. Why not? I'm up for a Jake Paul fight against Woodley. At least I can end it with something like decent because I'm going to be thinking about that fight all night. I'm going to rewatch it again.
Nah.
You know, I'm going to be like, damn, man, like what the hell happened?
I'm good. I'm gonna smoke a joint. I'm gonna play some Animal Crossing, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. I think that's my plan.
Yeah. How is that Animal Crossing?
It's a video game. It's a Nintendo game. It's really good. Patrick C. Hamilton with the emojis. Doug Hepburn. Glenn says he's 15 minutes away. Is Glenn saying he's going?
From what?
If Glenn and AJ are going to Orange Julep, maybe I should go too. Angelo saying you do need a break. You've worked hard during the pandemic, Dave. Thank you, Angelo. Appreciate you. Yeah, check traffic, though. They shut shit down at night. That's what he's saying. Let me see. Reese Harvey checking in tonight. I think he's a new viewer. Appreciate you, Reese Harvey. I see you on Facebook. Thank you for watching, everybody watching on Facebook, everybody watching on Twitch, on YouTube. Appreciate each and every one of you guys watching.
Listen, man, thanks for joining, guys. We're really
AJ, you're so mad. You're so mad about this tonight.
It's not a question of being mad. It's a question of, like, what the fuck is up with these? Like there's something, like, it doesn't make sense with, especially with Tyron Woodley. I thought he would just, you know, after his 0-4 and like in the UFC and all, like, you know, with Dana White telling him he's done and all this, he's not gonna even get a contract if he wants to fight in Bellator, man. It's not gonna happen now. He just like, I don't know, man.
Man, I
It
could
just
be there.
look. If you have to look at the fight, if anybody was at any point of danger in this fight tonight, there was one point where Jake Paul was in danger. But I don't recall seeing Tyron Woodley being in any danger, but he just didn't put the pressure on when needed.
That's what he
But
does,
yet,
man. His fight career, like Khabib said it really well recently, you know, and Khabib is right. Khabib said you have one peak. Nobody has two peaks. You peak, and then once you start to fall off, the wheels fall off, and it's downhill. You go up, and you go down. Nobody has two peaks. Nobody goes up,
it was a good show,
goes back down, and then goes up again. That doesn't happen. You have one peak. Sometimes you're here and you're not that good, and slowly you climb up and you hit your peak. Like Robbie Lawler hit his peak when he became, 30-something years old and he was UFC champion. He hit his peak a little bit later. Sometimes you hit your peak later, and that's okay. But Tyron Woodley hit his peak a few years ago when he was the world champion. You saw a drop-off. He's 39. He's rapping now. You know?
You believe this? He's no rapper like Donda, that's for sure.
He's no Kanye West, that's for sure. I'm going to go listen to Donda, AJ. Glenn McKenzie says Bisping had two peaks.
Selena music and
Bisping didn't have two peaks. He had one peak.
He kind of did. He's kind of right.
What do you mean? When he was world champion. That was his peak. How did he have two peaks?
Well, he lost a big peak when he
lost to George.
But
but I think his top was like when he was world champion.
Listen, man, whatever Khabib says, he's right.
Although, even then, I don't know if that was Bisping's peak. I think Bisping had one peak, but it was before the world championship. I think when he beat Luke Rockhold, that was something else. That wasn't Bisping at his best. That was just Bisping better than Rockhold on that night. And then you look at what Bisping did as world champion. He fought Dan Henderson, who was like much older at the time and not the number one contender. And the only reason Bisping fought Dan Henderson was because Dan Henderson had posterized him with a knockout earlier in his career, and Bisping hated that. So when he became champion, he begged the UFC to let him fight Dan Henderson in his hometown of Manchester, England. And he wound up beating Dan, and then because he knew that he could beat Dan at that point, because Dan was like older and not allowed to do TRT anymore or whatever. And then he lost to George. I think Bisping had one peak, but it was like probably when he fought maybe Anderson. I think it was probably when he fought Rockhold, but that was like the top. One peak for Bisping.
I like to see Rockhold. I would have liked to see the two peaks on that guy, but
well, there's only one peak in your fight career. Tyron Woodley peaked, a long time ago. Tyron Woodley peaked. I'll give you the fight that was Tyron Woodley's best, where he was at his best. Like, he kind of, had to work some things out, He lost to Nate Marquardt in Strikeforce. He was 10-0, and then he fought a real guy, Nate Marquardt. He got beat, got in trouble. Then he comes back, beats Jay Heron. Then he loses a close one to Jake Shields that he actually won. That was a bullshit decision. Split decision. Woodley won that fight. I remember that being ridiculous. Then he beat Koscheck, Condit, and then he had a fight with Rory McDonald that he lost. But I think his peak was probably in the Lawler fight. In that area. That was kind of his peak time when he became champion.
Well, you can say Rory had maybe two peaks. Can you say Rory had two peaks?
Why?
In some sense?
No, I don't think so.
Well, leaving the UFC and then just getting back into Bellator and then just
No, I don't think so.
In fact, his last fight,
Rory
he got
probably
robbed.
peaked. Rory probably peaked in 2014 when he beat Tyron Woodley. If you look at him since then, I mean, he's been okay, but he hasn't been the same level fighter. That Robbie Lawler fight did a lot to him. That hurt him. Rory McDonald, I mean, his last fight, he looked pretty flat. The Ray Cooper fight, he did not look good in that fight at all. Not at all. Yeah. That's right. And the Ringside Report Network says, please discuss the Glenn WO clothing with Glenn. We are not responsible for anything Glenn WO because a lot of people have had problems getting the Glenn merch. Glenn says he ships it out and never shows up. I don't know what's happening. That
Glenn's
only happened
busy,
with
man.
Brian. No, Glenn sends it out to everybody. It's just Brian didn't get his
hat.
hat.
He does.
Brian didn't get his
He
hat.
didn't get the hat. No,
Glenn will
Glenn
ship
is
it
always
out.
on the
It
ball,
might
man.
take him a little while, but he'll ship his stuff out that he says he'll send you. But it's been honestly too much, so it's not happening right now.
He'll even send
You
you
can
an
get
autograph.
Ringside Report merch over at merch.ringsidereport.net, okay? Ringside Report merch over at merch.ringsidereport.net. Thank you, G-Mac. You are the man. G-Mac is the man. He's probably in a hot tub right now with like 6 different ladies. What a guy. What a guy. G-Mac. Living that life.
But ready to go to Orange Julep. You see,
Jiu-Jitsu
that's what you call a real
No, he bailed
trooper,
on
man.
it. He bailed. He said no. He doesn't want to go. Let's skip it.
What?
Let's skip it. Do
Orange
it during
Julep?
the week because he's saying right now there's going to be a bunch of people. Bunch of people at the Julep.
For
It'll
what?
be too packed. I checked. I could be there in 13 minutes. But I just don't want to because it's late. I don't want to drink orange julep. Like, it's not a good thing to drink right now.
You know
It's,
what we should do? I'm
almost
going to
1
tell
in the
you.
morning. Why are we going out right
Listen.
now? Why are we going out at 1 in the morning? We're old men with children. Well, you and I are. Glenn isn't. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. But he's got ladies in the hot tub. There's no reason for him to leave his house to go drink like some sort of fancy orange juice. It's pretty good, though. But
Listen, man, next Thursday, Glenn, listen, hear me out. Next Thursday, we do the Orange Julep run. And if Angelo's on the road, he can come and join us.
that could happen, actually. You want to do that on Thursday night?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we could do, talk about, what our next plan is, with
Let's do that.
Bet99 and all the
If
rest
you
of
want
the
to,
stuff.
yeah, sure. If you want to do a meetup Thursday night after the show at Orange Julep, I could be down with that. I could be down with that because,
So let's do it,
I'm going
man.
on vacation kind of soon after. It'd be good to kind of see you and have a little
G-Mac?
julep. Yeah, see G-Mac too.
G-Mac, whoever, man. Whoever wants to come.
Glenn says it's
on
too
Dave.
late. It's too late to digest. I agree, man. It's just too late, man. I think Glenn's an old man. He
But not
doesn't
now.
want-
Thursday, man.
Yeah, Thursday night. We'll
Thursday,
go Thursday
we'll-
night after the show.
Yeah,
and
we'll
if
be
you're
wrapped-
watching,
we'll be
if you're
there.
watching and in the Montreal area, you know what time the show ends Thursday night around, 9, 10 o'clock. We'll be there, 11 o'clock, something like that. If you want to meet up
we
with,
could be there by 8. Now we could be there by 10.
yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll see if we go straight away. Fred will definitely not join us, but
No.
as long as the roads are open. If there's like a highway thing, if the roads are closed, if there's no, if there's traffic or something, I'm going to bail. But Angelo says he's down. If Angelo wants to come, yeah.
That's the spirit, Angelo.
Alex Terrace wants
And then
to
we'll
come.
take pics.
Glenn wants
We'll
to
send it
come.
out to Doug
Oh, man. There's like
and all the rest.
there's like a whole crew that wants to show up. Yeah, sure. Thursday night, we'll do it. We'll be there. Thursday night at the Julep. They should pay us for this. What the fuck?
Listen,
get
you know what I'll
free
do? I'll even
julep
dress
at
up as
least.
Jake. Listen, I'll dress up as Jake Paul if I have to.
You don't have the wardrobe, my
Because
friend.
now I do. I have orange shoes, man. I've got an orange tracksuit. Don't mess with AJ, man. I
Yeah.
got it all. What do you want? You want me to wear red? You want me to wear green? I got the orange, man. Plus, I got the sunglasses. Where's my sunglasses? I had them earlier.
Glenn says he's down for
What the
10.
hell are
All
they?
right. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do a Ringside Report party, after show party at Orange Julep in the Orange Julep parking lot with some juleps. And, yeah. All right. That's the show. Thank you, everybody,
baby.
for watching. We had a bunch of people tonight watching in the room. We appreciate you guys. Very cool to see so many new members joining, so many new subscribers. Thank you for growing the Ringside Report. Glowing and growing. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you have not subscribed already, we do appreciate you subscribing. It helps us a great deal. And also, join the channel as well. Like this video. Do all the things. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to Angelo Contagonis. You are the Super Chat leader once again. G-Mac says it's the best spaghetti in Montreal, apparently. That's according to George St. Pierre. I remember when George did the... do you remember when George did the... It was one of those UFC countdown shows, and he's like, this is the best spaghetti in Montreal. And he goes to Orange Julep to have a spaghetti, and I'm like, I didn't even know they
George is on
serve
crack.
spaghetti at Orange Julep. What are
They
you
do,
doing,
man.
George?
George,
Why does
what the hell-
George
George,
eat
man,
spaghetti at Orange Julep? It's the weirdest thing. But
Which is
Glenn,
renowned for their hot dogs.
I like that Glenn dropped the best spaghetti in Montreal reference because that's very deep George St. Pierre cut. Like, that's a very deep GSP thing. Maybe George has told him that personally. I don't know. Maybe that's like if you're like a black belt in Montreal, because Glenn and George, they're, jiu-jitsu black belts. So maybe, I'm not a black belt. You're not a black belt, AJ. Maybe it's something we don't know. Like,
I am.
No, technically you're not. Did you get a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
Not yet because of COVID.
Right. So technically you're not. And when's the last time you were in the gym? Okay. So let's not quibble here about whether you're a brown belt or a black belt when you're a brown belt right now, but you will be a black belt one day at some point. But I'm saying you're not in the club yet. They didn't give you the belt yet, so you didn't get in on the secret that George and Glenn know where to get the best spaghetti in Montreal. It's part of the black belt
Listen,
club.
So I'm going to just tell you something. As an Italian eating spaghetti at Orange Julep, you can tell this, Glenn, to George. George, you're on crack, my friend. I know George has eaten at Italian restaurants. If he's going to compare the spaghetti at Orange Julep to some of the Italian restaurants that I know he went to eat, you need to fight Jake Paul then and lose.
I made some spaghetti sauce, some good spaghetti yesterday. You should try
mine,
AJ.
Ketchup?
Are you crazy?
I can trust you. I can trust your spaghetti sauce,
it's good.
Man. But Orange Julep, dude, come on.
It's good, man.
George.
No, I want you to try my spaghetti. I want you to see it. It's good, AJ. I'm telling you. I know what I'm doing.
Well, I'll come for the next watch along, man.
Nice spicy sausage in there. Everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's good. All right, guys. I'm going to go have some now. I'm hungry. No, I'm not going to have some. That's crazy. All right, AJ. I'll see you Thursday night for Ringside Report MMA. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Appreciate you guys. Hey, Franco316's in the chat. Brian Firth, Angelo Contagonis, Doug Hepburn. Angelo, you are the Super Chat leader once again. Thank you, man. Thank you to the members, Doug, Angelo, Glenn, Franco, Brian. Who else did I see?
Well,
Patrick C. Hamilton. Patrick out in Regina, Saskatchewan. I wish Patrick could join us on Thursday for some orange julep. Patrick has probably never been to orange julep. Let me tell you, my friend, it is an orange drink. It is super delicious. It's like, I don't even know what it is, but I like it a lot. It's a Montreal original, and we like it here. We like it.
And you know what? I'll even eat the spaghetti. I'm going to try the spaghetti just for the hell of it. Just to like give my I'll do it. Jeez. And I'm going to tag George on it.
You should. You should.
I am. I swear to God. And I'm going to put Glenn on there, too, so he can't, like, weasel away. So that's it. Glenn, you're on there, man.
I'll be back. Angelo points out quite accurately later tonight after it's technically Monday, so after Raw in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City Raw tonight. I'll be on right after Monday Night Raw as I am after all the Raws. Okay? With my brother. The Simon Brothers in full effect coming up, which is a lot of fun, AJ. I mean, you're a good co-host and all, but my brother is, like, really gaining. He's gaining momentum. He's becoming very famous. It's like, I don't know. Things are happening for him.
Famous, man.
He's becoming big time. He's big time in me these days. What a guy. All right.
Wow.
Thanks, everybody. We love you guys. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night after Raw.